to somebody who was decent enough to have around, somebody worthy of their respect, hopefully. They served with me for several years now in the Unclaimed Duchy, and both served in uniquely different ways. Ariel was a good friend of mine. I'm sure he was a good friend of all of yours. Everybody seemed to feel like they had a special relationship with Ariel. I spent quite a bit of time away with him, trapped in a time bubble kind of thing, and got to know him pretty well. I feel like we came back out as perhaps argumentative brothers nonetheless. Ariel did his own thing, did whatever he wanted, tried to stay within the rules, but the rules weren't necessarily that important to him. However, he did understand that the rules were legitimate, and so he tried to hide his transgressions if necessary, but he wasn't afraid to transgress if he thought it was the best. I believe at the time of his passing and eventual ascension, he had 13 different individual personalities trapped in his head from his various years of poking at things he shouldn't, things he knew he shouldn't poke at, but did anyway because it was important to the town, maybe important to his friends, or just for the sheer sake of curiosity. He was a curious guy, and he liked to catalog things, he liked to know things, he liked to pass that knowledge on under most circumstances. There were some circumstances where he classified the knowledge as too dangerous for people to know. So he's a paradox in that he was a teacher, but he held a lot back. Somebody asked me, now that he's in his current situation, is it wrong to continue to think of him as a friend? Is it wrong to want to continue the relationship with him? Is it wrong to want to remain close to him? And all I can respond with in that situation is, I think that Ariel knew what he was doing and didn't take that decision lightly, but he made it. And it's time for us to come to terms with the fact that he is now different than what he was. And it's time to let the Ariel that we knew go and move on with our lives. He's got a new goal. We have to evolve to meet those challenges that he now has. So Tal's impacts, when Carol and I first started this group, we talked about Tal, and I think the exact reason we added Tal to the group is because we knew he was a bit of a wild card, and he was somebody who was going to call bullshit on something he didn't think was right. He was going to be argumentative if he thought that was what it took to get the job done. He was stubborn. He was an asshole at times. And he saved my life. He saved my life plenty. And there are very few that I would prefer to be beside than Ariel and Tal. And I think that a lot of you have experienced watching Tal guard off from the rest of the group to go try and save somebody who was down and do the right thing, regardless, even after he had attained his position as knight and had responsibilities to the group. He was always looking out for that one person. In that set of characteristics, you've got to add fire, you've got to add intelligence, you've got to add a certain amount of charisma and boisterous comedic value. He was always there with a quick joke, even in completely inappropriate times. Son of a bitch. But it's true. He had a big head. He had a huge head. And at the end of the day, he was my brother in in this line of work. To honor these two, not specifically to honor them, but for a while I've been under construction out in my barony. My main city sits on a river, and it used to be named Craigsfall, I think, a long time in the past. I've also built a fort in between Alith and Number Hill to watch over those two areas, provide a station for the soldier station there. I think that it befits these two gentlemen that we remember them forever, and even after we're gone, the map of Madeira be changed forever to honor them and remember them. So, effective immediately, Craigsfall will be changing its name to Nightwing's Rest. It is the easternmost city in Madeira, and it is the one that greets the morning sun first. And somehow that seems right. The compound in between Alith and Number Hill, henceforth be known as Fortress Pax. It is my fervent hope that it stands as a bastion for doing the right thing, like Tal tried to do in his last few months. He spent a great deal of his last few months in Alith, and I only think that his namesake, he built to watch over it, is fitting. So, that'll do it for me. If everybody could raise your glass. Tal and Ariel. I've known many people. I count them amongst the best of them, and I wish them the peace that they so rightfully deserve. Tal and Ariel.
Tal and Ariel.
All right, so, in keeping with what Tal requested, anybody who wants to say anything about it, tell a story, make it funny, whatever.
That guy sucked!
Feel free to do so, unless you're blue, in which case, shut up!
I'm glad he's dead! You next! Good job!
If anybody has anything to say, feel free to raise your hand, stand up, and we'll go from there until we have to go save the world yet again. I'm sure Tal would forgive us for cutting it short to do that. Don't press.